Hi, and welcome to Sweet Bee. This is our live stream show highlighting artists in and around our area. I'm Mike Bennett. We're at Professor B Studios in downtown Winston-Salem, and tonight we have the pleasure of welcoming somebody who I actually encountered a few times online, but at some point had the opportunity to meet at a meeting. That's where you meet people. Meet at a meeting. We were at the NSAI meeting. NSAI?
NSAI.
Okay, I won't get the letters right. Meeting not too long ago. I was talking about the importance of EPKs to artists and that kind of stuff. And we got to chatting and kind of got to going a little bit and decided it would be a really good idea to have him on the show. So if you would please help me welcome Randy Carter. Randy, thank you so much for being here, man. I really appreciate you being here. I want to start, if you don't mind, with that meeting. Like, let's kind of, how long have you been involved with it? What is it for those who don't know? Kind of talk a little bit about it, because I just kind of got bullied by a couple of mutual friends into coming and presenting at it. We won't name any names. Kristen, Lauren.
Kristen and Lauren. Yeah, Kristen and Lauren. Yeah. So, this National Songwriters Association, and we have a monthly meeting, and I'm really not as good at going to every month as Kristen and Lauren are, but I first got involved with them. They had a songwriters standoff, so to speak, over at one of the art places in town one night, and I decided to go. It was for songwriters, and I had not met anybody in town very much, and decided to go to it. So we went there, and we played music, and I met Chris, and I met a lot of other. Danny Dockery was there at night, I think. Let's see, a lot of the guys that are in the group were there, and they invited me to come to the meeting, and it was a really good experience. What we do is we'll bring our song ideas to the meetings, and we usually have someone in like you were that time, giving it a short, brief talk or a long talk, maybe in your case.
Okay, but all right. I didn't think that was going to get by. All right.
But sometimes we
will
have somebody in there, and then so the format's that, and then you'll have songwriters will present some of the new songs, and that's. Then you get it critiqued back to you, and then you get some feedback. And so it's a great way to learn how to write songs and
cool community kind of thing. Yeah. So is that, and I'm asking for people who are watching, is that a closed group kind of thing? Is it something that's you have to be invited to? Like if there are people who are watching, like I didn't even know that was a thing. Yeah. Is there a way for them to get involved?
No, if you're a songwriter, if you're a songwriter, you can reach out the meetings are usually on the second Tuesday, I think, of every month. But reach out to Chris Smith or Lauren, and they'll set you up. There's a group page on Facebook.
Okay.
And so just look at that.
All right. Well, that's
great.
Fantastic place to start. And for the record, they told me I had 45 minutes. So I went long because I was told that I had the time. And I went for 42 and a half, if memory serves correctly.
That's right.
Not that I was watching. Anyway, so we got to chatting, and I'll be honest, I was under the impression, just based on our conversation, that you had been in and around the area for a while, playing out live. Like it was like you were writing, but you were also playing. But then as we got to chat more, I found out that you played for a while and then took a pretty healthy break.
That's true.
And then came back to it. So I kind of want to take this in phases, if you don't mind, because I want to get to the project that I want to talk about. When I want to kind of build up to it chronologically, though. So 1981. Wilkes County,
right.
Paint the picture. This was the start, right?
This was the start. I was in a fairly successful regional bluegrass band at that time. But we started as teenagers. We were like 16, 17 years old and hitting the fiddlers conventions and stuff. And then we started doing shows. So, we were able to front a lot of people. We got to front Doc Watson, which was really a changing experience for me.
Kidding.
I mean, what a guitar player.
Did you get to talk and stuff?
Absolutely. These guys are backstage. You're getting ready to play, and you interact with them.
Yeah.
We were able to play with Seldom Seen. That was a very interesting time. We were singing, the Seldom Seen started out with two members from the Country Gentlemen that had split off.
Okay.
And so we're backstage and we're just kind of jamming on this old Country Gentleman song. And all of a sudden I hear this real high-pitched voice right by my ear, and it's John Duffy singing. So you get into that, and they come in, well, they had a cooler with orange juice in it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
And that's what they used.
Yep.
Let's see, another place we played, we were with the Country Gentlemen one night, fronting them, and after the show, we go outside or go to get our pay, Well, someone had taken off with a till that night.
Oh no.
So we're all standing around, and we're not believing this story. Not that they'd been stolen. The guy had taken it to the bank at 10 o'clock at night.
Oh.
So
Gotcha.
Bill Yates was the bass player for them at that time, and Bill looked at me and he said, "How much do you think that sound of him is worth? Is on the stage?" And so as we started walking toward the stage,
Yeah.
the guy runs and into the office and gets somebody on the phone. He said, "He'll be here 5 minutes,"
Yeah.
and we got
yeah,
our
we'll
pay.
find the money real
So
quick.
you really had to watch things.
Man.
So anyway, kind of fast forward, and as I went through that, then kind of went into country music and played that for a few years also.
Yeah, and
the
opened a recurring festival that
it's
kind of known in the
very,
area.
very first Myrtle Fest, our
Yeah.
bluegrass band got to play at, so that was a really neat
That's
thing.
why. Do you remember who else was on the ticket for the first
Oh
Myrtle
no,
Fest?
I couldn't. I mean,
And how different was
it's
it
much different
than what
now,
it is now?
Yeah, because in those days it really was a trial and error, and they were on the back of a flatbed.
Nice.
So I mean, it was big. They brought a trailer out. They had a sound system,
Yeah.
and it was interesting. It was a fun time to be in music then.
That's cool.
But
So how long after that was it before you decided to hang it up for a while?
I played until I was
'Cause that's
probably
kind
in
of
my
a
40. Yeah,
peak.
as I was going, as I was going forward, I moved away from the bluegrass music and into the country music a bit, and we moved here. I moved here in 2000, and
Okay.
it really wasn't the music scene was much different then.
So here from Wilkes County, or
Wilkes
have you
County.
gone?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I moved here for work, and at that time I was working in my career, and it was very, I had kids, a lot of kids in the house. I've got a lot of children.
Okay.
And we were, I was on that cycle,
Yeah.
trying to get up the corporate ladder, and it was.
Now, had you completely hung it up at this point, or were you still playing?
No, I was still playing it a little bit at that
Okay.
time, but for about 10 years, at some point, I just kind of quit playing.
Okay.
And I totally quit until about 5 years ago, and I picked things back up.
What brought you back?
I started thinking about what I'd been doing with my life and how much it wasn't so much fun to be working on that rat race, although I still do the same kind of work.
Right.
It was just I'd gotten to where I was just not enjoying it, and I realized I was leaving things out. I was taking too much time away from my family. I was taking too much time not even having anything to do with music. None of the things I loved was. I wasn't spending any time on any of the things I loved.
Yeah, I get that.
So I made a lot of changes and started playing again. And
Okay. So and this was about 5 years ago?
Yeah.
So from 5 years ago till just recently,
Mm-hmm.
at some point you decided, I'm going to cut an album. And that's kind of the project that
That's true.
we're going to kind of highlight and push towards today, because you're at the starting edge, but your start for this is very, you started with, we're going to lay down 5 tracks. I mean, you kind of hit the
we're
ground
pushing
running.
it hard.
So the 5 years up to that, were you intentionally writing and preparing for an album? Was that the goal, or when you came back, was it, I'm coming back and I'm going to cut an album, or did you come back with I just missed this, and the album has kind of happened out of that?
I came back and I called my old friend Randall Couch, who's one of my best friends in the world. He was my bass player. He's been my sidekick all of these years.
And he's all the way back from.
He still lives in Wilkes County.
Okay.
Or actually in Yaqui County now, but up in the Elkin area. I called him up, and we had started playing some, and then another good friend of mine, Mike Shelton, we sat down one night and started singing together and said, "Ooh, this sounds pretty good." And so we started a band called Not Ready, and that was more of a classic rock band.
Okay.
So it was another switch, another change, and so
but this was part of that initial coming back
thing.
5 years ago, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes. So we started playing together, and along the line, I started writing songs. At first, it was just for fun, and then I got to thinking, well, this sounds pretty good. And when I started playing for people, I said they seemed to like it. So
Gotcha.
then my goal became, well, I want to be able to do enough songs. I want to write enough to where I can say a 2-hour set
Of just
of
originals.
just originals.
Okay.
And
That's
so
awesome.
over the next couple of years, I also did that. And then
Yeah.
I started, I think I need to record some of these.
Yeah.
So that's how it's evolved
man, that's
into the
cool.
recording project.
Okay,
now.
so you're writing and you decide to start playing them out. How does that go from? Because I think people have talked about this to a degree we've never really focused on before. How does using live performance as a test platform for original material work as you're filtering stuff towards what you're going to put on an album? Like how do you, like, mindset, approach, how does that work for you?
Well, normally if I write a new song, I'm out trying it out in front of people. Once I've gotten it to a place
just
where
immediately, or
within a few weeks.
Okay.
Now I'm still reading off the lyric sheets,
Sure.
And things like that, and I don't have the phrasing like I end up the final product, but
Okay.
I want to get that feedback.
Yeah.
And if the audience really likes it, then I know I may have something that I need to work with a little further, and I continue and complete the songs.
Yeah.
And so what I'll do when I'm choosing for this particular project, I've been choosing the ones that are most well liked from the audience, and they've got a couple of personal ones. Just mean a lot to me that I wanted to put on there. They're story songs about where I grew up and how some of the things around that time, and it's grown to where I've got most of the project is already in my head,
right?
And also I needed to get something where I could get it out and get all the harmonies that I'm hearing here out with the group. So I play with a group now called Old Time R&D, which Diana Fallon will be singing with me in a few minutes.
Awesome.
And that's also her and my buddy Randall. So we're a trio. So we play out a lot of the cafes and the vineyards and such. That's where we play at.
Okay, nice.
So.
Do you play
in
here
this
locally?
Area? Yeah, we play here locally.
Any regular regular spots?
There's regular spots. You'll see us sometimes at Liberty or Muddy Creek Cafe, which is some of the places we played. Okay. And we have a couple of vineyards we play on a regular basis. But,
gotcha. So you've kind of gotten into where you've kicked things into gear. We've gone and laid down the first session at the studio and stuff. You're starting to get tracks back. You're starting to listen. Does it? Well, I guess without too much of a guided question, like where does that leave you and where you are right now? Like, is it I'm ready to get right back in and lay down more? Is it I want to refine these and kind of do a little more with it before we add to the pod, or kind of how? Yeah. Because I mean, with the gap that you've talked about, I mean, not just the technology, but the personnel have changed, like talent levels have changed, skill levels have changed. You've grown. You're telling different stories. Like there's a lot of stuff there. So getting it back for the first time in however many years, where does that put you kind of in the process and in the next steps?
That's a good question. I mean, this is my second album.
Yeah.
The first album was in the 80s.
Right.
So they were using, tape.
Yeah.
You were cutting live to tape, a lot of that, and then trying to punch in with the analog recording. So it's a lot different, obviously, now, and it's a lot better. I mean, you can move things around and get as many tracks as you want to. You don't have to worry about wasting the tape, or all of that. So, this first time, we got the feedback. We brought back some of the tracks, and I was pretty satisfied with 2 or 3 of the songs. Just about as is. But the other ones I've already picked out the places I need to change. Cool. And actually, I've decided I need to add harmony to some of them. By the end of the day, we cut. My voice was kind of getting a little weaker at the end of the day too. So I said, okay, we got to go back and cut this.
Gotcha.
But still, overall, the 5 tracks, they're pretty satisfying, but we'll lay down other parts and we'll make another trip up probably in the next month or so.
Oh, that's awesome. So kind of as we're leading into getting to hear a couple songs, are these songs off the album?
They are going to be on the album.
Okay, all right, fantastic. So a little sneak peek. Where are you at timeline in the process? Where can people find updates? Kind of how? So this is kind of a when can it be expected? If you know that, / kind of where can people find you as far as social media's websites, anything like where can we drive people if they want to follow what you're doing and hear more of what you got?
Well, you can find me on Facebook at Randy Carter Live, which is our page, and it has the Old Time R&D. We also share that page. I share the page with the band, and also all my solo outings are on there.
Awesome.
So that's where you can find me in the social media world. As far as where we're at, we're planning to get this done in spring and have it out in springtime.
Nice.
So look for the CD. I've not named it yet. It's untitled as of yet.
That was the next question.
Because I started to put WIP on it, work in progress, and name it that. But then I just could every time I didn't like something, I
Sure.
could say, well, it's just a work in progress.
Yeah.
So, but yes, look forward to there. I'm hoping to have a CD release sometime in the spring.
That's fantastic. We'll be looking for it, man. Thank you so much for sitting down and talking to me. We're going to take a real quick break, and we'll be back in just a few minutes with a couple songs.
Welcome back to Professor B Studios. I'm Randy Carter. I'm now joined with Diana Fallon, my partner in Old Time R&D. And we're going to do a new song that's going to be on our recording project that we just talked about. This is a song about relationships, and it's how people sometimes can't find enough time to do things with each other. And so when you have that time, you want to make the most of it. It's called Stay With Me Tonight. I can feel you moving close to me as the sun is sinking low, as the last waves dance across the sea and set everything aglow. Warm breeze blowing through your hair, you put your hand in mine. Gentle kiss, soft caress, as these words flash through my mind. Stay with me tonight, baby. Let me hold it tight now. Let me be the one till the night is done, baby. Stay with me tonight, oh. Till the morning comes, till the morning comes. Yesterday is just a memory, and tomorrow's out of sight. All that's real are you and me, and what we feel tonight. I'm not asking about forever. Let's hold on to today. Travel many roads to find you, and all I have to say, stay with me tonight, baby. Let me hold it tight now. Let me be the one till the night is done, baby. Stay with me tonight, oh. Till the morning comes, till the morning comes. Yesterday is gone forever, and tomorrow's out of sight. All I know is now or never. Won't you stay with me tonight? Stay with me tonight, baby. Let me hold it tight now. Let me be the one till the night is done, baby. Stay with me tonight, till the morning comes. Till the morning comes. Thank you. All right. So, being it's the Christmas season, this particular song is set at Christmas time. But I do play it all year long because it's really about redemption and reconciliation. It tells the story of a man that's been out in the cold too long, but finally comes back to his family. It's called Christmas Day in Carolina. Well, the winter wind was blowing, cuts right through his old gray coat. He stumbles for a moment, then he fended for the door. He almost drops the presents for the babies that his daughters had. And he thanks God for the chance that he's been given to become a better dad. Christmas Day in Carolina, and he's finally coming home from the place that left him broken, beaten, tired, and all alone. But that's all in the past now. Friends and family are inside, open hearts and loving faces. Welcome home, it's Christmas time. Through deserted streets he wandered in a time not long ago, or through crowded malls he'd stumble, through busy people on the go. A broken piece of Christmas scenery, no one seemed to notice him. Another empty face, out of time and out of place, on the outside looking in. Christmas Day in Carolina, Daddy's finally coming home from the place that left him broken, beaten, tired, and all alone. That's all in the past now. Friends and family are inside, open hearts and loving faces. Welcome home, it's Christmas time. They gather in the living room, hugs and kisses surround him. Mary Jo and baby Jess are at the door. Could someone let them in? In the corner sits a guitar. They say, Grandpa, can you play a song? So he picks it up and plays a Christmas tune, and they all sing along. Christmas Day in Carolina, Daddy's finally coming home from the place that left him broken, beaten, tired, and all alone. That's all in the past now. Friends and family are inside, open hearts and loving faces. Welcome home, it's Christmas time. Open hearts and loving faces. Welcome home, it's Christmas time.
So much fun. Thank you so much for being on. Thank you so much. Very beautiful. Beautifully done. Guys, one more time, make sure you are on the lookout for the album that we are tentatively saying is dropping this spring.
Yep.
And one more time, the Facebook. They can find
Randy Carter Live at Facebook.
right, Randy Carter Live.
Live.
Live. Life.
Live.
Live. VE.
VE.
Okay.
L-I-V-E.
L-I-V-E.
Okay, I dropped into my wheel.
Old ears. I'm sorry. It's my fault. So, guys, thank you again so much for doing the show. Thank you for being here. Really, really appreciate it. We are going to be back in 2 weeks with our Christmas special. We're doing something very different this year, so I hope you'll tune in. Please come find us then. Please go follow this guy's page. Keep up with the updates and all that kind of stuff. And then if you're feeling generous, follow ours as well. We'd appreciate it. We'll see you guys in a couple weeks. Have a great night. Guys, thank you.